We will now take questions for Mr. Simmons from the members of the media.
Have you found your experience working in the White House team has added immeasurably to what you take as a person into your constituency?
It has been a great privilege to be working in the White House, having this being my second tour. I have found it wonderful. It has been helpful in that we've had a responsibility for dealing with a number of issues that arise every single day. That practice has certainly been used, and my knowledge that I have from having had that job and continuing in that job has been very beneficial out in the constituency. The good part is that the concerns that the constituents and even the concerns where I'm stopped all throughout Bermuda are similar. So it's been a pleasure to be able to gain that knowledge and to use that knowledge to the benefit of all.
You must have met many a person that you thought would make a great PLP candidate. What do you say to them if they are a reluctant suggestion?
Step forward. I believe that public service is not easy. I think sometimes we feel as though we're just not cut out for it. There are those who feel as though, I really just don't feel like putting myself into that public spotlight. But I believe that there's a part of each and every one of us that genuinely wants to help, that genuinely wants to be a part of something that changes things, that changes countries. And also, you really want to help people. And so I believe that anybody who wants to do that, you don't necessarily have to run for parliament. You don't necessarily have to stand on you can simply just get involved in your community. Take advantage of your young people in your everyday constituency and do something. Do something with them. Find the thing that you do and you do well and do it. Do it in communities, do it in churches. And I think that if you do it, then the country's going to be better for it.
When you go on that doorstep, what are you telling that constituent that you're offering to them in contrast to your opposition?
I believe that what I'm asking or what I'm informing the constituents of is that I bring a knowledge and an understanding of our government, the way our government works, and also a unique perspective on how that party system, the way that we govern in our party, the suggestions and the way that we go about doing the process, and how that process is used in government. I believe that's probably the most important thing that I've gotten to learn and to master during the time that I have been both in party and also in government. It's not been an easy job, but I would say that it's the one thing that's been the most rewarding, because our governments and individuals who feel that our governments run without parties are incorrect. That's where the thoughts are, that's where the ideas are. That's where our connection with the people is. And through that connection, that's how we get that message out. And that's how those messages, that's how those feelings that are deep down inside of every member creates itself and is born into legislation that you see passed every time the House sits. There are people behind every piece. There's a people behind everything that we do as a party. And that's why governments who are connected to their party, governments who are on the grass level with their ears to the ground, are the best governments to run Bermuda.
Have you been knocking on people's doorsteps already, and if so, what's been some of the responses and thoughts?
It's been positive. As a matter of fact, the thing that surprised me on the first time when I started knocking on doors was because I was prepared with a barrage of answers, and I didn't get that. What I got was first of all, individuals that were just pleased that someone had knocked on the door. Secondarily, they were pleased that at the very least someone was listening, and I believe that they were content, that at the very minimum, they feel as though we have a functioning government, we have representatives who are willing to listen and who are willing to carry out their wishes. You can't carry out everybody's wishes, but I feel overall, from what I've heard on the doorstep, that we are moving in the right direction, that we do have, that they do have our ear, and that at the very least, we're willing to make the changes and be bold. That's the thing that I believe everyone feels is needed for this economy and for the times that we face today.
May I make one comment? And I'm going to share one day walking back to the cabinet office. I was with Mr. Simmons. and a gentleman approached me who sometimes comes into the cabinet office and around the cabinet office, and he showed me his mouth and said that he has a problem with his teeth and dentures, and he said he isn't of any fixed abode, and he said, what can you do about it? What was interesting and important is not that I spoke to him, but that you saw Mr. Simmons actually took the at your service government to heart. He walked around with this gentleman to financial assistance, to immigration, to get whatever paperwork he needed confirming that he was a Bermudian, and actually also liaised with, down in the South Side area, with a place for him to be able to rest his head. And I think that that was important, and that's part of what the job of the political office is. It's in it to help facilitate those who come to the cabinet office, and if I may be in meetings, they are quick to see those who wish to have access to me. And sometimes there's no need then for the person to meet with me. But that's the beauty of the White Office staff. You have a Senator Burt, who's the Chief of Staff, who goes out and meets people and helps also to facilitate me seeing people. And you have Mr. Simmons, and they work as a two-step team. And I think that's useful. It's also useful that they have both had in their respective offices, as a former chairman to a former premier and as a former press secretary to a former premier, that they're bringing that diversity of experience and also a background. So I think that's that I wanted to share, because sometimes people are shy to talk about themselves. And I wanted to share with you that example from my perspective of having seen what Mr. Simmons did. And I expect him to take that same degree of can-do, stick-to-itiveness and a sensitivity to the people's concerns when he's on the doorstep in 31. And our view has always been, we don't take any vote for granted, we don't take any seat for granted, and in our view, we've got to work it. And that's what our candidates have been told. Work it and go out there and meet the people where they are, because that's what is the game changer. And we let them know in clear terms that this country is going in the right direction, notwithstanding the challenges. But there is the opportunity for us to both help them as well as to provide hope. And that's what strengthens the view that we are going in the right direction, bringing the people with us. Thank you.